It's Ray again. Gonna do a rebuild video today, or tonight, whatever you want to call it, on the Kanger Mini Protank II. Received this about a little over a week ago, and 2.5 ohm coils. They were really poorly made, which I was upset about because I've heard a lot of good things about these tanks. So, after using it for about, I don't know, a week, the first coil was junk. It wasn't spitting out hardly any vapor. I took the thing apart, was looking at it. It was all junked up. Could be from the e-liquid I'm using. It's pretty dark stuff. But, yeah, I started looking, and I was firing it, and nothing was happening. So I looked, and, of course, the coil had broke. So, got myself some 32 gauge Kanthal and did a rebuild. I don't know why I'm taking this apart because I'm going to show you this real quick. So basically, I rebuilt it with cotton and 32 gauge and put it back on e-cigarette, and now I'm getting way bigger vapor clouds off of this cotton 32 gauge build. So, I'll show you how to do it. Let's take this off here first. Ooh, alright. Basically, here's your Kanger Mini Protank II. Your drip tip. And take this bottom piece off, and voila. Here is your atomizer head. It's all filled with juice. I'm not going to rebuild this one. I'm going to rebuild the other one, since this one I just built last night, and it works great. But I want to show you how to build it. So, here we go. Here's the extra head. It comes with two. So this was the first one that broke. Alright? So let me take you down into build mode here. Build mode! Alright. So, here's build mode. Here's the atomizer head. First thing you do, take off this little rubber grommet washer thing. And take this piece off. Alright? That's the cover for your coil. This is what you're left with. Alright? So the next step would be to find my needle nose pliers in this mess here. Here they are. So let's take this thing apart. First thing you do is pull the bottom piece off, like so. Might be able to hear a crying baby in the background. It's bedtime and he's not happy about it. Alright, I'm going to take this little rubber piece off. You don't really want to do this with your fingers, just so you don't ruin the rubber, right? So here's your little rubber piece and a little metal. Alright, so now I'm going to, actually, what am I doing? I'm not doing that. Alright, so my 32 gauge Kanthal. This is my first time using this stuff, since most of my builds, if you've watched my other videos, are normally all 26 gauge, but can't use that in the Mini Protank II. So let's pull off a little bit of wire here. I pull off a little bit extra when I build on these Protanks, just because I'm new to it. Let's cut off a nice piece here. That should be long enough. This stuff is like paper thin, or hair thin, probably be a better example. There's that. Alright, first thing I do with this 32 gauge stuff, since it's very springy, bouncy, I don't have a torch yet. So, well, get on there. I use my handy Bic lighter. Let's take this and heat up this Kanthal. Burn off whatever crap's on there. And it also helps to stiffen up the wire just a little bit. Alright, there's that. And what I wrapped it on was this little screwdriver right here. Probably could go a little bit smaller on the coils. As a matter of fact, I think, nah, you know what? Let's stick to this. Alright. So I built, was what, 6 wraps, I believe, last time. Give yourself a nice, like, decent leg there. You can see. And let's do 6 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then fix that first coil, because the first wrap is always messed up. And then I kind of bunch it up onto my screwdriver thing, my jiggy, to tighten up the coil just a little bit. Definitely different using this lighter gauge stuff here. Not as easy to work with, in my opinion, but whatever. This is what you use when you're building your Kanger Mini Protank II. Right? Right. Probably go with 30, possibly even 28. But we're trying to keep, you know, the same, which was about a 2.5, since that seems to be working all right. And that's what we'll build. All right. So there we go. We got our coil built. So now what you do, if it's not being a punk, is now you're going to insert the 2 legs of your coil into the middle here. Now, problem with using this screwdriver is it's not quite the right size to fit inside here, but I kind of like having the bigger coil. So let's take this out and move it on over to my trusty tweezers here. And we'll run it through there. It should be pretty good. I don't see why not. It's straight enough. Alright, now first things first, kind of pull your wires down like this. And then let's bend this one. I'll take the shorter leg here. Bend it off to the side. And that will kind of hold that coil in place. And just double check, make sure you're looking good there. You want your coil to line up with the edge, the bottom portion, right? So the next step is you take your little rubber grommet piece here, feed that through there. And if you look, you can see there's a wider edge and a thinner edge. The thinner edge is what goes up inside the atomizer head. Let's go ahead and feed that in there. Snug it all tight. And now this is going to be your negative lead. That is my girlfriend making dinner. So don't mind the loud random noises in the background.
Sorry.
Baby crying, girlfriend making dinner. Here I am building coils. Life is good. Alright, so I'm basically just trying to straighten out my coil here. Let's see, maybe I can use my little mini tiny itty bitty screwdriver here. That works. Okay, next step. Right, now we got our positive end that's coming through the grommet. Bend that over now. Now that that's done, it should look somewhat like this. Then you take your little metal piece that we pulled out, and that goes in there. Let's snug that all nice and tight. just kind of, I keep checking my coil to make sure it's not off. So right now it's bent a little bit, and yes, you could use like a screwdriver. That would probably work a little bit better, a little drill bit or something, just to make sure that your coil not all cockeyed like this one is. But this will work. Once I run my cotton through there, it should be fine. Basically what you're looking at now, which you're probably not going to be able to see because I have the worst fucking camera on earth, excuse my language, is the coil running through there. So let's go ahead and check this on the multimeter. Oh, no, let's not check it on the multimeter. I have to screw everything in first here. So let's go ahead and cut these coils, these extra little legs here. Cut them as close as you can to the post. There we go. Screw this back onto the bottom cap here so I can check my resistance. When you're checking your resistance with the multimeter on this, if you look inside, you'll see the small hole where the center post is. Stick my positive lead in there, and then I just touch my negative lead to the side of the bottom cap, and it is exactly 2.5. Alright, so let's go ahead and throw this back on here. Ego style battery, and test fire it. There we go. And that, it's firing nice. It's not the prettiest looking coil, but it works. Let's try and straighten it out here. Kind of tweaked it a little bit. There we go. What you can do is, test fire it, get it nice and hot, and then pinch it. Fire it, pinch it. Let go of your fire button before you pinch it, or you'll pop your coil and short everything out. Doesn't quite stay as tight, but I'm not looking for a micro coil here. Just trying to tighten up the coil just a little bit. Alright, there it is. Take this back off the battery. And hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing there. Let's drop it down a little bit more. So now, time to put the wick inside here. So, we got some cotton. I pulled off of a cotton ball. I also have some raw cotton, which I prefer better, but it's really hard to put in these smaller coils. I normally use the raw cotton for my IGO-W builds. So now, kind of wet the cotton here a little bit, pull off the excess. Hey, twist that down, and just feed the cotton wick if it would work through the coil. Do this again. There we go. Take the tweezers out and get your cotton in there nice. Doesn't have to be extremely tight, just tight enough so that once you get your juice on the cotton, it'll kind of build up a little bit and it'll wick properly. So let's go ahead and cut off our excess here. When you're cutting your cotton wicks on these mini Protank atomizer heads, you cut it as close as you can. You want minimal cotton excess. There we go. Ah, get off of my fingers. Alright. So this is what you're looking at here. Alright. Here is your atomizer head on the Mini Protank II. So let's go ahead and stuff the cotton in this little well here. And I found that it wasn't necessary when I build my coil this big to lay the little flavor wick bull crap on top. So there's it. That's it. See that? Can you see it? Does this work? Probably not. Whatever. Zoom in. Need something that can focus better. How's that focus? Is it focusing? Can you see it? Maybe not. Maybe you can. Whatever. There it is. Alright, so let's go ahead and pour some juice in the tank. This is Mount Baker Vapor's Butter Pecan. It's good. It's been a week. It's almost gone. So, and the most important part, before I forget all of this stuff as I'm putting juice in there, juice your coil. This is cotton. Cotton will burn if you dry fire it. It's not silica or anything like that. So there, see? Look, coil's nice and juicy. And just to double check, we'll screw this back on and give it a fire. There we go. See the vapor? Listen to that. Crackle, crackle. Alright. Now we're going to take the little metal coil protector rod thing and put that back on nice and snug. Probably not going to be able to see this part here, but on the atomizer head now, once I put this top portion on, you shouldn't see black. It should just be wick. And all I can see is the cotton nice and juiced up, but you don't want it to be too thick. This is a 50-50 blend. If you were working with like straight VG, you could leave a little bit more wiggle room since VG is a lot thicker, but this works fine how it is. Next piece to help from flooding is the little rubber plasticky thing that goes on top. Right? There we go. That's built. Slide this back in to the Mini Protank II. Put the drip tip back on. Bring you back up here so you can see the monstrous vapor. There's not that much vapor, but you know, for people using these on just a regular Ego device, variable wattage, take this up to 0.5. Hear that? Crackle, crackle. Love it. Kind of give it a couple like priming puffs to get the juice going, and let's see what we got. Not too bad. You can hear that thing crackling. It wicks better. It works better. It tastes better. I was a little intimidated at first. I watched a couple videos online, and you know what? It's really not that hard. Pretty simple, actually. I tried to build some VV Novas in the past and didn't like the way that worked. This works so much better. And just dial this back down to a normal vape here, and producing good vapor. So there you go. Kanger Mini Protank II, rebuild, 32 gauge Kanthal, cotton ball wick. What more else is there to say other than keep on vaping, vape on, and don't blow yourself up, which you won't with this, but and all that good stuff. So have a good night, have a good Halloween, and keep on vaping.